On October 27, tensions continued to rise along the Thailand-Myanmar border following a series of massive explosions that shook the Kakapak complex in Myawaddy, Karen State, one of Southeast Asia's most notorious hubs for transnational scams. The blasts marked the latest development in a major military campaign by Myanmar's armed forces aimed at dismantling criminal cyber networks that have operated for years under the guise of investment projects, largely beyond government control. According to border sources, the fourth explosion occurred at 5:25 p.m. on October 26th, when Karen Border Guard Force units coordinated with Myanmar's military to detonate several buildings allegedly used for scam operations inside the Kakapak Special Economic Zone in Gamin. The blast was so powerful that metal fragments flew into Thai territory, damaging rooftops and power lines in Mekumai Ta Sung village, Mae Sot district, Tak province. The explosions occurred only about 500 meters from the border, leaving residents on both sides alarmed and anxious. Lieutenant General Voratep Punya, commander of Thailand's 3rd Army Region, confirmed that the blasts were not caused by drone strikes, but were intentional demolitions carried out by Myanmar's army to destroy scam-related infrastructure. He said Thai authorities had reassured residents, stepped up patrols, and strengthened security along the Moi River. Witnesses in Mae Sot reported that as early as 6:30 p.m. on October 24th, loud explosions could be heard across the border, with plumes of white smoke rising tens of meters into the sky over Myawaddy. This marked the second consecutive day of Myanmar's military campaign to destroy scam centers in Kakapak, a complex previously described by international media as a digital crime stronghold, where thousands of foreign nationals were forced or lured in to working for online scam operations. Authorities in Myanmar had earlier rescued nearly 2,000 foreign citizens detained in the area. However, as the operation expanded, chaos quickly ensued. Hundreds of foreigners, including citizens of China, India, Vietnam, and even Thailand, attempted to cross the Moi River into Thailand, fearing arrest or retaliation. Tak Deputy Governor Swanit Suryakul Naayurtaya reported that within 2 days, over 400 illegal border crossers had been recorded, bringing the total to nearly 1,200. They were sent to 4 temporary shelters in Mae Sot for screening. Some of those detained were confirmed victims of human trafficking, while others had voluntarily worked for the scam syndicates. Thai authorities said those not identified as victims could face prosecution for illegal entry. According to Thai PBS, many people crossed the river at night using styrofoam boxes and makeshift floating devices. Thai authorities quickly broadcast loudspeaker announcements in border villages, warning residents to stay alert while providing continuous updates about the situation in Myanmar. Meanwhile, Karen armed groups, including the BGF and the Democratic Karen Buddhist Army, DKBA, continued to control much of the area surrounding Kakapak, Shwe Koko, and Tay Trong. These hotspots are widely known as havens for cybercrime syndicates that exploit border instability to establish entire scam cities disguised as industrial or investment zones. Since Myanmar's 2021 military coup, the civil conflict has led the central government to lose control over many border regions. In the vacuum, scam compounds have proliferated, operating like criminal factories with thousands of staff, executing romance scams, investment fraud, and online asset theft. According to the United Nations, victims of these networks across Southeast Asia lost an estimated USD $3.7 billion in 2023 alone. Remarkably, despite Thailand blocking cross-border internet access since February, the scam hubs continued operating via Starlink satellite internet provided by Elon Musk's SpaceX. An independent investigation by French agency AIP in October revealed that hundreds of Starlink receivers were installed across rooftops in Kakapak and Shwe Koko. This technology allowed criminal syndicates to maintain global connections and continue their international scam operations, despite infrastructure isolation. Under mounting international pressure, SpaceX confirmed it had deactivated more than 2,500 Starlink units suspected of being used for illegal purposes in Myanmar. Lauren Ray, Starlink's vice president of operations, stated on Platform X that the company had taken steps to prevent misuse of its technology for transnational crime, but did not specify when. At the same time, the Myanmar military announced it had seized at least 30 Starlink devices during raids in Kakapak, a figure believed to represent only a fraction of those still in use. An AFP correspondent on the ground reported that over 1,000 people fled the area by car, motorcycle, or on foot, carrying their belongings in panic. Recent investigations by the UN, AFP, and human rights organizations found that scam operations in Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos share a similar structure. These compounds, often labeled as special economic zones, are in fact fortified criminal enclaves protected by armed forces and backed by transnational investors, sometimes with the complicity of local officials. Thousands of trafficked workers are imprisoned in these zones, forced to carry out online scams targeting victims in the US, Europe, and East Asia. Just last week, Cambodia deported 64 South Korean nationals accused of participating in similar networks, and South Korean police have since sought arrest warrants for most of them upon return. The incident highlights the scale and cross-border nature of this emerging form of organized crime, where the line between victim and perpetrator is increasingly blurred. Myanmar's crackdown on Kakapak is seen as one of its toughest moves since the nation plunged into political turmoil. However, experts warn that destroying infrastructure is only temporary. As long as local armed groups control border regions and the central government remains unable to enforce governance, new scam strongholds could emerge elsewhere, especially given the billions of dollars these networks generate each year. On the Thai side, authorities in Tak are facing a mounting humanitarian challenge as refugee and migrant flows surge. Thailand's Border Command Center reported that more than 1,000 people from Myanmar crossed into Mae Sot within just 3 days. Special task forces in Ratchamamur have increased border patrols and are working with immigration agencies to screen, provide humanitarian aid, and process individuals according to regulations. As the Karen-Tak border remains a tense hotspot, analysts believe Myanmar's campaign aims not only to eradicate cybercrime, but also to reclaim territorial control. Nevertheless, the Army's use of explosives near residential areas has sparked concerns over potential escalation, particularly as hundreds of foreign nationals remain trapped in conflict zones. The thunderous blasts that leveled Kakapak did more than destroy one of Southeast Asia's most infamous scam centers. They exposed the deep roots of transnational cybercrime entrenched in the region's gray zones. Whether this operation will truly dismantle a multi-billion-dollar black industry or merely scratch the surface of a sprawling underground empire remains to be seen. The answer may ultimately depend on how effectively Southeast Asian nations can cooperate in the fight against this evolving menace.